Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a very special interview with my man Zeke. Zeke, I don't want to steal too much of your thunder though, man, so go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name's Zeke Zuberbuehler. I'm a 2027 quarterback, and I've been using this program, and it helped me commit to the Air Force Academy.
Bam. Nice, dude. Bring the viewers up to speed a little bit, kind of a little bit more of your background. Obviously, you came to us in a unique spot, or we grew up not too far
Yep.
from one another. So just give the viewers a little bit of background as far as where you're from, everything like that.
I'm from Darlington, Wisconsin, which is a rural small town in the southwest corner. I played kick returner, punt returner, DB, and quarterback, so kind of all around the field and not really knowing what I was going to play in college. So just getting my name out there, having coaches get eyeballs on the film, that was when I needed to go down. So just hoping with the program really got my name out there, got my film out there for coaches to see it, and obviously it worked.
Bam, cool. What is kind of everything that you had tried or that you had really been doing before actually coming to us for help?
I was kind of just posting on X and just reposting everything I could, kind of just getting my name out there. So not really knowing what to do with coaches, how to reach out to them or where to advance conversations. So that's where Athletes U stepped in, where I got the resource program, all the coaches, the database, and then obviously the emails and the Twitter guide where you could keep the conversations going and get the phone number, which definitely helped a lot.
Bam, cool here. As far as like even taking a step back before that, like, because you'd obviously worked your butt off to be able to get into a spot where like
Mhm.
that would even be useful for you. Like, obviously, nobody goes D1 just by being like a good emailer or like just using Twitter the right way. So, what have you all done, maybe as far as like training and camps and all those things you guys had even done prior to coming to us for help?
Yeah, for training, we lift Monday through Friday, 6 to 7:30 before school. So we do that, and then we do a lot of off-season work with a lot of skill guys throwing, try and get in as much 7-on-7 as we can, just because that would help us out a lot in certain situations. And then in the off-season, I have a quarterback trainer named Benji Carmrath, so I train with him every Saturday morning. And then what else? We just went to camps that we thought we they were interested in us. We weren't going to make a go to a camp where we didn't feel like they really wanted us, or they
Mhm.
we didn't really like them. So we kind of just stayed away from camps that obviously didn't interest us, or they didn't really have interest in us. So we just went to camps that we felt would be the right fit, and really felt that the coaches wanted me.
Love that. What do you guys feel like was your biggest struggle before actually coming to us for help? Because you'd already invested a lot in, like you said, training and camps and doing all these different things. What do you think was actually your biggest struggle?
I think just not knowing how to use Twitter the right way.
Mhm.
We were kind of just posting left and right. Hopefully, like something would land, just like a shot in the dark, where Athletes U gives you a complete guide of how to do stuff. And if you have a question, you can ask it in the questions channel. So it was really helpful to have all those resources and kind of give you like a playbook sort of way, where you can just go like from a certain situation that you already have had experience with, and then having the experience with you going through this already.
I think also just information on the information to post. I think you helped us out a lot with that as well, like what we should post, what we shouldn't post, what's worked well for others, and what's not worked well for others. Like Zeke was saying, like it was it was kind of like we were shooting in the dark, hoping something would stick. Sending out emails, sending out, just trying to get any video we could to get out there. And hoping to piggyback a little bit off the success on the state championship game too. We tried to really hone in on that at that point, just to get his name out there.
Million percent, million percent. And I appreciate you guys sharing all of that too. And if I remember right, and you don't have to like air anything out or like share any names or anything, but you guys had actually tried a different type of like help or service or something like that prior to even coming to us.
Mhm.
Like I said, without, sharing any names or airing anything out, I guess what was the biggest difference or like what was maybe missing from that you were looking for that you even found?
I think just all the resources that you guys have of the database, the one-on-one kind of, I would say the one-on-one, I don't know how to explain it, but just being one-on-one with you or a part of your staff definitely helped out a lot, and kind of just knowing where to go from in a certain point of the recruiting process, and you having experience with it where they didn't really have experience with it. They weren't a player, but I mean, they're kind of a coach, but it wasn't like they were going through it. So I think
Right.
that was the biggest set apart.
Love that. Anything to add for you, Nick, as far as things that you saw prior to coming
Uh,
to us?
yeah, I think the biggest thing you guys offered, I think you going through it firsthand, I think that was um, a big help to us. Also, I think, like you said, the mass email database where you had that you were able to fire off to, you know, however many schools that we sent, and then you were able to log and track the views and things like that. The other services we had, they did exactly what they told us they were going to do. You guys just offered a little something different that they didn't. Not to say that theirs was wrong, but obviously we're doing. I think the big thing was with us was the emails, and just you going through it firsthand. Just here recently too. So I think that helped out quite a bit.
Love that. Love that. Okay. And then, kind of funny because we did grow up like 15 minutes from each
Yeah.
other, but how did you
Yeah.
guys actually like find our stuff and what stood out to you guys when you first did find our stuff?
I think I reached out to you before Zeke did.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw it. I
Yeah.
saw your stuff on Instagram, and I'm like, is that Will Straka, like from Mineral Point, like Will Straka? And I'm like, so then that's kind of when I reached out to you and I asked you, I'm like, hey, are you Will Straka from Mineral Point? And then were you kind of, I think the Instagram that I did see was it was, I'm trying to remember which one it was. It had to do with your email and your database. I think is because and then you sent me the link to, like, hey, this is what we can do, kind of thing, and like a list of all the D1 coaches.
Yeah. Love that. Okay. What were your guys' thoughts going through the process? You were obviously in season during that time, but what were your thoughts going through our process and before actually signing up? Maybe like your doubts or your fears or anything like that.
Well, I think my biggest fear, obviously, is you want to make sure if you're going to spend money, it should be well spent, and everything that. And I guess I didn't have a problem spending money as long as we were going to get results. And I think basically what your offer was, like, if we weren't happy with our outcome, and we followed the program, that the money would be returned. I think that was a big ease in our decision.
Mhm. Love that. Zeke, you have anything to add as far as kind of questions you had or doubts and fears or anything that you were,
No, not at
in
all.
fear before actually getting started? No, you're just ready to go?
Yep.
He did
Love
say that he's like, we got to go with Will.
it. Love that, dude. Okay. Well, no, I totally understand. Obviously, like, we definitely aren't the like Walmart version or anything like that either. Like we obviously like to charge more than other people because like we want people that are going to come in and actually take action just like you did too. So I appreciate you guys and you, Zeke, obviously coming in and actually taking the action. Like, we can get you in the program and everything, but like I can't make you do the work or like I can't, I can show you everything to do. And obviously some pieces are done for you. But I appreciate you, man, actually taking and, putting in the work and doing all those things that you did to obviously get the outcomes that you have now. So I just want to say appreciate you actually putting in the work, man, and coming in and crushing it and everything. With all those doubts and all those fears, right? Wanting to make sure that you're getting your money's worth and making that big investment. What made you guys say yes anyway and actually jump into it?
I think just knowing that you went through the process of and making a big jump to go play a Division 1 football, and knowing how to use emails and knowing how to use Twitter as effectively, and not just kind of sending these long paragraphs, what we were doing before, where you just send these, you just dumb it down and make coaches click on it and be like, oh, easy response instead of just making them sit through a long huddle tape or a long email. So I think just giving the short little tips and the the first hand of you going through it and then passing that down to the people that follow you. I think that's what made us say yeah.
Mhm. Definitely. And then for you, Nick, you're obviously the one who had write the check and everything. So for you,
Yeah.
what made you say yes to it all,
Uh,
despite those doubts?
I think Zeke's comfort level. I asked him flat out. I said, hey, "Is Will somebody you want to deal with?" And he said, "Absolutely." He says, "I felt like I could relate to Will. I think you guys aren't that far apart in age. I think that's a big difference too. And just you going through it recently, I think
Yeah.
made Zeke feel comfortable. I think he felt like he could have a conversation. Just that he could randomly text you if he had something, that he had a question on." Um, I think that was the biggest part for me. And you grew up 15 miles from us, so it gives us a little, we're all the same, comfort level. So it's just kind of like, hey, here's another Southwestern Wisconsin kid. Like, you just have that bond, I guess, is a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Love that. No, no. Yeah, that's awesome. And I'll definitely be back. I mean, I'll be back actually for about a month here, June and July. So we'll see. I don't know if we can play some golf or something maybe when I'm back, but we'll go ahead and figure something out for sure.
Absolutely.
So love it. Zeke, so to bring us up to speed, man, kind of like day one up until obviously committing and everything like that, kind of everything that we did, or just really like the 1,000 foot overview, or everything that kind of stood out to you as far as like what we actually did when we were in the program.
hmm Definitely the group calls. If you couldn't make it, recording it. I had to do a ton of those because I would have stuff on a Wednesday night where I couldn't even make group calls for a really long time. So I just, 9 o'clock at Wednesday night, I'd turn those on. Just watch what you guys talked about in the brief overview of what you guys said before. So those definitely helped a lot. Being able to talk over Zoom of what to do, how to fix stuff on your Twitter profile if it was any of that, and just the resource database. Just being able to send out all those DMs or emails or give them a follow and kind of just reach out to them. That helped a lot. I definitely that was what I spent my most time on was the I think Sundays I was down in my basement from like 9 to 2 some days just
Man,
following people, sending out DMs, which is it's a kind of unspoken part of the recruiting process if you want to go Power Four, so or Division One and Division Two. So that's definitely where it just helped a lot.
love it. Love it, dude. And I know you talked a little bit about the like one-to-one stuff before. Anything that stood out to you as far as like the one-to-one or being able to answer questions or any examples that you wanted to share?
I just feel like making it really clear of what to fix in the one-on-one conversations or the group calls or in the questions channel. It wasn't kind of just like asking follow-up questions and be like, here, you should change this. It'll help you with that. And there was reasoning behind it of why you should change it. So that was definitely a really big impact too.
Love that. Cool. And after doing all that, where are we at now with everything? What are the outcomes and the results and everything that you've got, and where are you at right now with everything?
Yeah, so there was a lot of interest from some Power Four schools, and we kind of just figured out, it wasn't, we couldn't really close the deal with them. So we still use the framework, and obviously that's going to happen sometimes, but that's how the recruiting process goes. So we ultimately ended up committing to Air Force, which is, I think it's the right fit, and it's a great school, and it's going to be a fun place to play at the next level.
Bam. Let's freaking go, dude. Nah, congrats. Obviously, like I said before, appreciate you putting in the work and doing everything required to obviously put yourself in a spot where that is possible. Um, for you, like what are yeah, like what are some of all of those criteria into that choice for you? Just because it's May right now, like you could have waited and everything. Like for you, or maybe some of those criteria were like, yep, this is the place for me. Let's dive in, everything like that.
I think when we were taking all the visits, everything I was comparing back to Air Force. So it's kind of like when we went up to Army, when we went up to Northern Michigan, I was kind of comparing it all back to Air Force, which I was like, well, if I'm comparing it back to Air Force, that's probably a good sign. And then we have some hometown roots there. So the head strength and conditioning coach is from Darlington, and then there's a kind of one of his assistants, his dad's from Darlington. So it's kind of just like a family out there, and they really treated you like the coaching staff. They treated you like family, and obviously you get the benefits beyond football with the education and the job right out of college. But that's yeah, it was an easy decision on my part.
Yeah, that's awesome. How does it feel?
Definitely a lot of weight off the shoulders. So it felt like the right decision when I announced it and when I told the staff at Air Force. So it felt really good.
Oh yeah, dude. For you, Nick, how does it feel to be a dad, right? And like watching Zeke grow up and do all of the traveling and tournaments and games and training and all those things that you guys have obviously done. How does it feel from your point of view to like watch him grow into that and obviously now be ready for the next chapter and everything?
Yeah, it's a good way of putting it. Surreal, I guess, is a good way of putting it. You think back of all, when this all started and how fast it went. And sad because in another year, like that, all the stuff that you work for is, for high school, and then you hope that something would pan out afterwards. That's gonna come true. He's gonna be 800 miles away, and at the Air Force Academy, which is super cool, and I'm super proud of him. Just as a dad, like not many kids can say they're going to go to the United States Air Force Academy and play football, and um, you know, I, it's just super proud of him. It's still surreal. You're still like, is this really happening, kind of thing. So I'm going to miss the road trips, going to miss all the windshield time we had together. So, but it'll all be good.
Yeah, no, that's what it's all about. You guys have obviously made a ton of, like memories and everything already, and you'll have a whole bunch more over the next 4 or 5 years too. So it's been awesome to obviously follow your journey and keep watching you over these next, like I said, 4 to 5 years. For all the viewers watching this or maybe following our stuff for a little bit and they're unsure about taking the next step or they're on the fence with anything, what would you tell them?
I just say, all the resources are there for you. You got the step-by-step guides, you got the database, you got the email system. So if you really want it that bad, this is obviously the system to go with, to get your name out there, to get some eyeballs on your film. And it's obviously been proven to work. So I don't understand why you'd be on the fence about it and just, dive right in. But obviously there's some other aspects too, a part of it. But I would say if you really want it that bad to get your name out there and to be able to play at the highest level you can, this is the system to go with.
Man, appreciate you saying that, man. For you, Nick, anything that you have to add for anybody that's on the fence?
I would say if you're on the fence, I think I think you offer a out if you're not happy, and I think a lot of the services out there don't do that. So I said if you follow what what you put in place, and you're still not happy with the outcomes, and you treat them right. And so I that would be my advice to somebody who's concerned about it.
Love it. Cool, cool. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys jumping on. Anything else you guys want to share or anything else that you guys want to leave the viewers with?
Go Falcons.
Yeah, go Falcons. Love it.
Go Falcons.
Cool. Well, guys, like I said, I appreciate y'all jumping on. Zeke, I'm super hyped to watch you grow into this next role and chapter in your life, bro. And yeah, we'll be back here. I'll be back obviously this summer, and then I'll be back for sure to catch a game next fall between the Redbirds and the Pointers for sure.
All right.
Cool. All right, I'll go ahead and end the recording here. We'll be all set.